Hello and welcome. Nice to have you join us on Newsroom series, reaching you from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Dominic Iwiwa, and today our focus will be on the southeast. But before we get into that, let's have a snippet of our top stories making the rounds at the moment. Armed men suspected to be kidnappers have abducted a 9-year-old boy identified as Victor Lashobikon during a violent attack on residents of Idogun, a community in Oshe local government area of Ondo State. According to Mr. Isaac Olashibikon, the father of the abducted boy, at approximately 1:30 a.m. on Friday, 5th June 2026, a group of armed men invaded the community, firing gunshots sporadically and causing panic among residents. Mr. Lashabikon explained further that the assailants forced their way into his residence while he escaped into a nearby bush, leaving his 9-year-old son in the house, who was abducted by the armed men. The Public Relations Officer, Ondo State Police Command DSP Abayomi Jimo, confirmed the incident in a statement issued in Akure, the state's capital. The statement partly reads, and quote, upon receipt of the distress report, the divisional police officer and his men, in collaboration with the Amoteku Corps, immediately mobilized to the scene and launched a coordinated search and rescue operation, end of quote. According to Mr. Jimo, investigations have commenced while relevant exhibits have been recovered and documented to determine the circumstances surrounding the attack, with the aim of rescuing the victim and also apprehending the perpetrators. Operatives of Akwa Ibom State Police Command have successfully rescued 3 abducted children and arrested 2 suspected child traffickers along Ekparakwa village in Nkpat Enin local government area of the state. The Police Public Relations Officer DSP Timfon John disclosed this in a statement in Uyo on Thursday. John said that at about 7 p.m. on Wednesday, the command received a distress call from a concerned individual reporting the abduction of 3 children along Ekparankwa village in Nkpat Enen local government area. She said on receipt of the report, detectives were immediately mobilized and all strategic entry and exit routes within the area were swiftly cordoned off in a coordinated operation aimed at rescuing the victims and apprehending the perpetrators. She said during the search, operatives intercepted a minibus with registration number 830PH. According to her, a thorough search of the vehicle led to the discovery of the 3 missing children inside the bus. She said the children were rescued unharmed, while 2 suspects were arrested on the spot. The police spokesperson said the rescued children have since been reunited with their families, while the suspects remain in police custody. She added that the State Commissioner of Police, Baba Azare, had commended the swift response of the operatives and the vigilance of community members whose timely information aided the successful rescue operation. Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Idi Abbas says Nigeria's coastal and riverine areas are now largely safer due to intensified Nigerian Navy operations targeting crude oil theft, sea robbery, and other maritime crimes. Speaking on Channels Television Sunrise Daily, he noted that sustained surveillance and enforcement efforts have significantly reduced illegal oil activities and improved security across the nation's waterways, though isolated incidents still persist. Vice Admiral Abbas added that while challenges remain, ongoing naval operations continue to suppress maritime threats and strengthen safety along Nigeria's coastal corridors.
As it stands today, I can say that our coastal areas and the riverine areas are relatively safe. What we are contending with mostly there now is this issue of crude oil theft and then some pockets of sea robbery, which we are able to curtail. But as it stands today, the Nigerian Navy is also involved in all the theaters of operations on land, be it the northeast, the northwest, the north central, that's the various operations, Sadinkai, Fansanya, Ma, Wild Stroke. We have our men there operating alongside sister services and other security agencies. And it's in realization of the changing dynamics of security and the asymmetric nature of warfare we're fighting now that we decided to come up with the Nigerian Navy Marines, who are trained to fight both on land and water. And the first inaugural batch have been inducted, and so far so good, they are doing well.
To the judiciary now, Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned proceedings until June 15 to rule on an application filed by activist Omoyele Sowore. Mr. Sowore is formally seeking for the judge to recuse himself from his ongoing trial alleging biases. During Friday's hearing, Mr. Sowore informed the court that he would be representing himself, stating that his previous legal team is afraid to appear before the court following alleged humiliations. He subsequently moved motions requesting the judge's recusal and the referral of his case to the chief judge for reassignment to a different courtroom. The prosecuting counsel, Kehinde Akinlolu, vehemently opposed the applications, labeling them an abuse of court process intended to irritate the judiciary. He urged the court to dismiss the motion, citing a directive from the chief judge that the matter must proceed under the current presiding judge. In a short ruling, Justice Umar stated that he must thoroughly review the processes filed by the defendants before delivering a decision. Mr. Sowore is currently being prosecuted by the DSS over allegations of making defamatory claims against President Bola Tinubu on his social media platforms. We start off in Imo State, where the federal government has approved the establishment of a new federal medical center in Okigwe, Imo State, through the upgrade of the General Hospital, Okigwe. The agreement was formalized at the Government House in Owerri during a meeting between a federal government delegation led by the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Salako, and the Imo State government led by Governor Hope Uzodinma. Our correspondent, Eitagwe Kute, reports.
It is a busy day at the Government House in Owerri, the Imo State capital, as Governor Hope Uzodinma receives delegations from key federal ministries and agencies on matters ranging from healthcare to poverty reduction and revenue allocation. The first delegation is led by the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isiaq Salako, who is paying a follow-up visit to Imo State on modalities being worked on to convert the General Hospital of Okigwe into a federal medical center. Governor Uzodinma describes the approval as a demonstration of President Bola Tinubu's commitment to improve healthcare delivery.
At the upgrade of Avani Koko College of Education to a federal university of education by federal government, which now made the Federal Medical Center in Owerri converted to also a university teaching hospital, leaving Imo State as the only state in Nigeria without a federal medical center. We approached the Ministry of Health and federal government, and Mr. President, in his wisdom, again approved the Federal Medical Center be sited in Imo State.
Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Salako, commends the state's investments in the health sector, describing Imo as one of the Federal Ministry of Health's leading partners in the pursuit of universal health coverage.
With the vision of Mr. President, which Governor Uzodinma subscribes to, that specialist healthcare must be brought as close to the average Nigerian as possible. And using that to ensure that outbound medical tourism is significantly addressed. People can get the kind of special healthcare they need as close to them as possible.
Other visitors include the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Dr. Bernard Doro, who is in the state to strengthen collaboration with the government on poverty alleviation and social intervention programs. During the meeting, Governor Uzodinma highlights the state's social register and growing digital economy, revealing that thousands of youths have been equipped with digital skills through government-backed initiatives.
Imo Digital City is a public-private partnership, and we have a mentoring agreement and investment partnership with UC Berkeley, University of California, likened to Silicon Valley. Most of our resource personalities come from California. We have a very robust menu. Only last month, we conducted our dojo for founders And we are now having a lot of startups. And it will impact positively, encourage our young men and women.
The visitor discloses that Imo State has benefited from about 6.6 billion naira under the Household Prosperity and Empowerment Cash Transfer Program. He also announces plans to partner with the state on skills acquisition and youth empowerment.
Let me also announce that very shortly the ministry is planning the renewed Hub Skills Acquisition Program and will be seeking collaboration with the state.
In another engagement, the governor meets with the chairman of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Dr. Mohamed Shehu, who is leading a nationwide data verification exercise. Governor Uzodinma calls for reforms to strengthen Nigeria's revenue allocation system, expressing concerns over what he describes as inaccurate reporting of crude oil and gas production figures, which he says has affected revenues due to Imo State.
As the chairman of Crude Oil Theft of National Economic Council, during my brief investigation, I can bet on anything that we are producing more than 3.5 million barrels of crude every day. In Imo State, you must have had ANO Gas 1 and Gas 2 have started production. They are doing 300 million cubic scuff daily. Aside other productions from other oil companies, here there is nowhere in the records that it has reflected.
From expanding access to healthcare to strengthening social protection programs and advocating for a fairer revenue sharing framework, Governor Hope Uzodinma says sustained collaboration between the federal and state governments remains essential to driving development and improving the welfare of citizens. Iyitope Kuteyi, Channels Television News.
The Abia State's Governor Dr. Oti has admonished Nigerian states to boost internally generated revenue and reduce dependence on federally shared oil income, warning that the global shift away from fossil fuels poses long-term economic risks. Speaking while receiving a delegation from the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, which is conducting a nationwide data verification exercise for revenue allocation, Dr. Oti said states must begin to prepare for a future in which oil revenues may no longer provide the financial lifeline they currently enjoy. While reaffirming Abia State's support for the exercise, Dr. Oti said relevant ministries, departments and agencies had been directed to provide all necessary information and support.
The Commission in 2022 concluded a tooling program where it acquainted officials of states and local governments on data gathering and management relating to the computation of horizontal revenue allocation. In this regard, the Commission also digitalized its data collection process. The team will collaborate with the state ministries, departments, agencies, and local authorities to ensure accurate and credible data verification and collection that reflects on ground realities.
Earlier, the team leader and federal commissioner representing Ekiti State in the RMAFC, Honorable Maumi Ogunlola, said the commission had commenced the nationwide exercise to verify and update data used in determining revenue allocation to states and local government councils, adding that the exercise is designed to ensure accuracy, transparency and fairness in the allocation of public resources across the country.
Resource distribution and allocation is important, but resource generation is even more important. One fundamental issue will be how do we now make our states independent and have them to be able to generate enough revenue, just in case they have no money to share. It may not be today, but it will happen someday.
the governor of Imo State, Governor Hope Uzodinma, has called for urgent reforms in Nigeria's universities of technology, warning that failure to align academic programs with emerging global technological trends could undermine the country's future competitiveness. The governor made the call while delivering the 38th convocation lecture of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Imo State. The governor stresses the need for institutions to prepare graduates for the demands of the fourth industrial revolution. Our correspondent Aitokwe Kutei reports.
It is the 38th convocation lecture of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, the Imo State capital. The academic procession signals the commencement of the event, setting the stage for discussions on the future of technology education in Nigeria. Delivering the convocation lecture titled Nigerian Universities of Technology Must Lead in the Fourth Industrial Revolution or Jeopardize the Nation's Future, Governor Hope Uzodinma highlights the growing influence of artificial intelligence, robotics, biotechnology, quantum computing, and other emerging technologies on the global economy.
Now, the fourth industrial revolution is here. It is restructuring economies, dissolving industries, creating new ones, and rewriting the basic terms on which nations compete. The question before this country, and before this institution in particular, is whether we are moving with it or standing still and watching a generation of young people, the most populous and most technological curious cohort in Africa, locked out of an economy they were born into, but never given the tools to enter.
The governor also commends the president for policies aimed at promoting innovation, digital transformation, and skills development, citing several key initiatives.
The federal government has built the policy infrastructure. The state government has built the operational infrastructure. The universities of technology must now build the academic and the research infrastructure that converts policy and operational readiness into economic transformation. The three layers must align, sustained over time, beyond the electoral cycles, beyond the ministerial transitions, beyond vice chancellor's tenures. That sustained alignment is the work of institutions, and it is the work I am asking FUTO to lead.
As the world embraces rapid technological advancements, institutions such as the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, are expected to translate research and ideas into practical solutions that will position Nigeria to harness the opportunities of the fourth industrial revolution. Aitokwe Kutei, Channels Television News.
Now, a group of aggrieved youths from Oroke or Noha community in Ebonyi local government area of Ebonyi State staged a peaceful protest at the Ebonyi State Police Headquarters in Abakaliki, demanding a comprehensive investigation into allegations of financial mismanagement, unlawful arrests, and disputes surrounding communal land administration in the area. The protesters called on the Ebonyi State government, security agencies, and relevant authorities to intervene in what they described as a prolonged leadership and accountability crisis within the community. At the center of the allegations are the traditional ruler of the community, His Royal Highness Eze Sunday Oketa, and his son, Prince Friday Oketa, whom the demonstrators accused of actions they claim have generated tension and division among residents.
If they say police has right to invite or arrest any person for any offense, now according to information you are giving me, I have not gotten the correct information. He has arrested them in the name that they are courtists. You have your lawyer. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
Lawyer knows more than all of us, including those of us colleagues. If I were you, doing demonstration, if somebody is arrested for an offense that has proof, your demonstration cannot release that person. I have to tell you the truth as my brothers. But the only thing, you have a lawyer. That lawyer is here to speak for you. If truly they are the ones that will come to police, if those people have evidence that they actually have committed offense they are accused of, their demonstration, the whole village of Onokoroha cannot release them. But if it is arrested, you say intimidation based on what you are saying. The truth is that after preliminary investigation, somebody must have accused them, or we had information. After preliminary investigation, the police has power to release them.
We said we are tired of what is happening in the village. Now, because we have called them to stop intimidating us, grabbing our land, taking what belongs to the youth, the power of attorney, they generate money from there. The youth, they generate money from there. The building belonging to the village, they generate money from there. And our traditional ruler, Eze Sondo Oketa, and the father and the son, Prince Daniel Friday Oketa, hijacked the whole IGR of the village. And we talked and talked, they started intimidating us. Whenever you talk, you'll be beaten. They will use police to arrest you. They will say they will tag you, IPOB, and jail you. And we continue doing this to the point we say we are tired. We went to the court. We told court that we cannot see what is happening. Though. We complained to the court, and court gave us paper. We went and served them. The very day we served them paper from the court, they came the next day to arrest us. And they arrested so many of us, which area commander happened to witness it.
Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has intensified efforts to reposition Nnewi as a leading industrial and commercial hub with the launch of a major urban renewal initiative aimed at revamping neglected public assets and critical infrastructure. During an inspection tour of key locations across the city, the governor assessed abandoned facilities and strategic development sites earmarked for redevelopment under the state's urban modernization program. Staying in Anambra State, the state's government has vowed to ensure justice for a 16-year-old girl who was gang-raped by 8 men, including her guardian, in the Nwofia community in Jikoka local government area of the state. The state's Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Esther Onyekesi, stated this when the survivor was brought to her office in Awka on Thursday. She vowed to ensure that all perpetrators in the dastardly act were brought to justice to serve as a deterrent to others. The commissioner raised concerns over the level of trauma the teenager has had to endure at the hands of adults who were entrusted with her protection. Narrating her ordeal, the survivor said her guardian took advantage of her every night, after which others joined the abuse until a good Samaritan rescued her last week. We go back to our earlier story from Anambra State, where the governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has intensified efforts to reposition Nnewi as a leading industrial and commercial hub with the launch of a major urban renewal initiative aimed at revamping neglected public assets and critical infrastructure.
The commercial city of Nnewi comes alive as Governor Chukwuma Soludo arrives at Nnewi to a warm reception from traders, residents and supporters who line the streets in a show of appreciation for ongoing development projects across the state. The atmosphere is festive as supporters hail what they describe as a people-oriented administration, while community leaders seize the opportunity to present some of the area's pressing infrastructural needs. At the center of the governor's visit is a long-abandoned Nnewi Triangle Shopping Complex, a sprawling commercial facility that has remained dormant for nearly 17 years despite its strategic location within one of the busiest trading hubs in southeastern Nigeria.
We are here to inspect this place because of the way it is. Is it an eyesore? Don't bother. We will transform it. There will be a section for park. There will be a place for leisure where people can take a breath of fresh air. Hope this is okay. Everywhere cannot be a market. There will also be places for refill after business activities, and that's why we are here. We are moving around to identify certain areas and even check out for residential areas too. There will be a housing estate because Nnewi is a great town.
The inspection tour continues through key locations within Nnewi, including the post office precinct and the High Court axis, where the governor assesses existing infrastructure and directs relevant government agencies to incorporate the areas into a comprehensive urban renewal program. Governor Soludo also visits proposed housing development sites, emphasizing that rapid urban growth in Nnewi requires deliberate planning and expansion of residential infrastructure to meet increasing demand. He further discloses plans to identify and repurpose underutilized public lands across the city, converting them into green parks, leisure centers, and commercial facilities that will improve the quality of life for residents while creating new economic opportunities.
The open arena, people can come and even on Saturday, people can come and take a walk. On Sundays, and so on barbecues. When they have a wedding, when they have a reception, instead of going to close down a school.
The governor's entourage, including senior government officials, among them commissioners responsible for works and housing, as well as local government chairmen, were joined in assessing the viability of the proposed project as part of efforts to accelerate infrastructure renewal across Nnewi and other parts of Anambra State. For the residents and traders who have watched valuable public assets lie idle for years, the governor's visit rekindles hopes of a transformed urban environment, one where commerce, housing, and recreation work together to support the continued growth of Nnewi as a leading commercial city.
And that's where we drop the encore in this edition of Newsroom Series. I'm Dominic Iwiwu. Enjoy the rest of your day.